Okay, so this video or this training is to cover different areas or aspects through Zoom that we received on our surveys that some staff would like maybe more assistance with or training. So the different feedback that we got from the surveys last week was that staff would like some more information on Zoom settings, breakout rooms, nonverbal signals, student incentives, and small groups. So I'm going to start first with our Zoom setting. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. And let me go ahead and start with Zoom settings. So the Zoom settings would be found right up here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that icon. It's going to take me to general. So on my general settings, what I find very useful to have is remind me. You can change this to every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes before your upcoming Zoom meetings. I usually have it on either 5 or 10 minutes just because I want to be prepared that I have all my stuff is ready, all my manipulatives I might need, and I'm prepared. So that 10 minutes gives me that time frame that I need to get prepared and I need to have my stuff ready because my Zoom's going to start in about 10 minutes. So I always have that on. I also find useful on video is to have my HD on. Usually has a better picture and better quality on HD. I also turn on my touch up appearances. So I want to show you what a difference this makes. So touch up my appearance kind of makes your face just a little clearer. So if you can see the bottom screen that I'm sharing with you on my little icon on the bottom right, compare how I look there to the camera that my Zoom is using. So it's a big difference. I also turn on adjust for low light. Want you to see the difference that makes a difference on the lighting, and we don't want to have a dark room or we don't want to be in a dark area. The more lighting the better. So I always have turn off my video when joining a meeting. I do that just because I want to make sure that when I do turn my video on, I'm prepared and I'm ready to go. And I'm not caught turning my video on and just not prepared. So I know that when I'm ready to turn my video on, when I'm joining a meeting, I am prepared. Okay, so the other aspect I also want to go over is on audio, I always mark off automatically join computer audio when joining a meeting, or else it'll ask you that every single time you log in. Okay, chat. On chat, one icon that I usually turn on is down here on push notifications. I always press nothing. I don't want any notifications for any kind of messages that I receive, only because I don't want all these dings every time I get a message or anything, and for that to show students that I'm distracted in any way. So that is one thing I change on here. Sometimes it'll default to all messages. I go ahead and change it to nothing. I also press mute chat notifications while I'm in a meeting or internal call. I always have this because I don't want them to hear those dings. I also turn this off because I do not want any sounds when I receive a message. Now let's go to background and filters. So on backgrounds, I'm going to show you the virtual backgrounds, which we all know. Okay, have your virtual background, and it's usually better if you have a green screen. I don't have a green screen, so I'm not going to show you that, only because this is how my screen is going to look, and that's not acceptable. So let me go ahead and turn that off. The only way it works pretty good and efficient is if you have a plain background, one color, and usually better on a green screen. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to right here. So everyone has this. This is a new filter. It's even on your computers at the school. Okay, so our desktop computers. So let's go to video filters. You can also, let's just say, depending on what you're teaching, if there's a story of the week, let's just say it's Christmas time and you're reading a story about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I can always put this video filter on. I can also have emojis, smiling emojis, different emojis on here as a border. There's lots of different borders depending on basically what you want to use. So there's lollipops. There's lots of different fun filters that you can use that will engage students more, and depending on the subject or content you're teaching as well. So down here, studio effects. There are different effects that you can use. I just want you to concentrate right now on, let's just say right here on eyebrows. So they have eyebrows, mustache, beard. So let's go ahead and go to eyebrows. Just look how different it'll make you look. So you can change the color as well. I always press none just because I personally don't want to use the eyebrows effect. There's also lip color. So I want you to see when I have none and when I have like the reddish tone. So it changes the lip color. So even if you don't have any makeup on that day, I mean, you can look very presentable by using that filter. Okay, so let's go ahead and close that. Let's go ahead and go to keyboard shortcuts. There's lots of keyboard shortcuts that you can use. I just do not use them, only because while I'm on Zoom with students, I type sometimes when I'm trying to go into different windows. And if I had those shortcuts on while I'm typing, it will either mute, unmute me, have me either take my my screen, my video off. So I personally do not have any of these on, only because I like to multitask and that will not work for me. Accessibility. So on here, there are lots of different options that you can press, such as private in-meeting chat received. You can also have recording permission granted or revoked. Audio muted by host. I always have the audio muted by host on, because sometimes I have students that they are not aware of the background noise that is going on. So I like to also have the option where I can mute them and I can get that taken care of quickly, only because I teach kinder. And sometimes, for the most part, they know mute, unmute. There are some who still have to look for it on their screen. So if I hear something unacceptable going on, I'll just mute them. Okay, so that's basically it for my settings. Let's go ahead and join a meeting, and I am going to show you on breakout rooms. Okay, so on here, I am going to have breakout rooms. Okay, So on breakout rooms, what I like to do is have small groups this way. So this is a great way to differentiate. It's also a good way to have your students interact with each other. I have kinder and all virtual students. So other than this, the breakout rooms, they really don't get any interaction with other students or other children. So I feel that it's a big need for them to have that interaction with other students. So in here, you can change how many breakout rooms you want. You can have as many as you want, or let's just say I'm going to have 2 breakout rooms. I like to assign them manually. You can have it automatically, but I like to assign it manually because it allows me to pick and choose who I want in the breakout rooms. Okay. I have never used let participants choose a room. That's just me. And I have kinder as well. So I do not have that I do not allow them that option. So I'm going to go ahead and create. So right here, I have 2 breakout rooms. I can now rename it, and I can put tigers. You don't have to. You can if you want, but you do not have to. Eagles. And you can also add a room, and it's just going to add another room. I can always delete the room right here. It's just going to delete it. So it's no big deal right there. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the options down here. Allow participants to return to the main session at any time. You can have that on, or you can have that off. It's up to you. I also have my countdown after closing a breakout room. So I have it at 60 seconds. You can always put it at 30, 15, or 10. I like 60 only because it allows them to wrap up their thoughts and to finish the conversation that they were having. And they know that they have just 1 minute left. Okay, so once you open all rooms, so let me go ahead and join through my phone so you can see what this will look like. So when you are doing your small groups and you are doing, so right here I have Stacy Flores twin. I am going to assign me to, let's just say tigers. I'm going to assign me to the tigers group. And this is my device where I will still be able to monitor the other group. I'll be able to monitor the 2 groups at one time. So they're not going to be not monitored right now. So just have them make sure that they press the blue button to join the group. Okay, so right here, I have tigers. I will be in there with one group, and you can also broadcast a message to all. So if you press that icon, type a message, and you can broadcast it to everyone in all the groups. Okay? So I personally, from my computer, am going to join this group, the Eagles group, because I'm going to be in the Eagles group. My other device is going to be in the Tigers group. So it says you are now in a breakout room. Okay. So once you are in the breakout room, you have the option to leave the room. So I'm going to leave the breakout room. It returns you back to the main session, and you can always go back and join another breakout room. Okay. When you're ready to close the breakout room, you're going to press close all rooms, and it is going to tell you right here that it has given them 53 seconds, or it's given them the 60 seconds. This is what you see now. So they will press the blue button again and press leave now. When they leave the breakout room, it brings them all back to your main screen. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and end that. And now we are going to end this meeting. Well, here's some just little emojis you can use as nonverbal signals. The thumbs up, hand claps, and also one other thing I was going to go over is that you always have the option to put your participant in a waiting room. So let's just say the participant might fall asleep or is not acting the way they're supposed to, their behavior, you can always put them in the breakout room. And when they're in the breakout room, they can always come back to your room, because if you remove them, it is going to remove them for the entire session of that Zoom period. Okay, so let's go ahead and end the meeting. And I am going to go over. Oh, one other thing as well is that the breakout rooms could be done for small group instruction as for your turn and talk. So you can always have the turn and talk or for your HOTS questions, and you can assign certain students in one breakout room that will be able to complete that assignment while you're working with other students who need a different kind of intervention maybe, and you can work with them in your other group. That's a great way to do small groups as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at just one virtual incentive that I began using was an aquarium, was a virtual aquarium. So this is what my aquarium looks like. And these are the different options or the different fish that my students can choose from. I use this for behavior and for Zoom attendance, and also I use it for assignments that they have turned in. So each one of my students has an aquarium, and they are given the option to choose from one of these fish that they would like, or the coral reef, or even the treasure chest, the different objects that we have. They have the option to choose which one they like, depending on either whatever incentive we are using for that day. Then I copy and paste and put what they want, the fish or the different object, in their aquarium. And what their goal is to have their aquarium pretty full, nice and neat like this. Okay, so here are some other examples of some other incentives. So we have virtual lunch with the teacher, digital dance party. We also have examples such as pajama day, show and tell, dress up day, raffle prizes. I know my students love virtual scavenger hunt, so that would be another incentive. We also have nonverbal cues such as post-it notes or just different colors that they would hold up, such as got it, yellow for struggling, and red for I'm stuck. So there's lots of different nonverbal cues that we can use, as well as like the thumbs up, the thumbs down, different nonverbal cues. Okay, so that covers our incentives, our nonverbal cues, our Zoom settings, breakout rooms, and our small groups. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this is somehow useful. Have a great day.